The crowd at Dodger Stadium could sense something special the moment Shohei Ohtani took the mound. The air was thick with anticipation, that electric kind of silence that comes just before a storm. Fans leaned forward in their seats, knowing that the two-way superstar had something to prove tonight. His warm-up pitches were sharp, precise, and full of intent. Every throw looked like a message. He was ready to dominate. As the first inning began, Ohtani's focus was absolute. His eyes locked onto the catcher's mitt, the stadium lights reflecting off his determined expression. The first batter stepped up, but he didn't stand a chance. Ohtani unleashed a devastating fastball that sliced through the zone for strike one. The crowd roared instantly. You could almost feel the confidence radiating off him. This was his stage, and he owned it. He mixed his pitches with surgical precision. After another blazing fastball, he dropped a splitter that completely fooled the hitter. The batter swung through thin air. Strike three. One down. The fans erupted, waving blue flags and chanting his name. Ohtani didn't react much. He just walked calmly back to the mound, ready for the next victim. The second batter tried to play it safe, laying off the first two pitches. But Ohtani adjusted instantly, throwing a slider that painted the corner. The batter froze, strike one. Then came another pitch, a splitter that dipped at the perfect moment. Strike two. The next pitch was pure fire, 99 miles per hour right down the middle. The bat never even moved. Strike three. The crowd was in awe. Two batters up, two strikeouts. By the time the third batter came up, the energy in the stadium had reached fever pitch. The fans were chanting, "Shohei! Shohei!" over and over. Ohtani smiled faintly, then nodded to his catcher. The first pitch, a curveball this time, dropped beautifully into the zone. Strike one. The next was a fastball, and the batter fouled it off. Then came the splitter again, low and nasty. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Ohtani had struck out the side in the very first inning. The fans couldn't stop cheering. Even his teammates stood at the top of the dugout rail, clapping and shouting. But Ohtani wasn't done, not even close. As he walked off the mound, he looked calm, almost quiet. There was no fist pump, no showboating. He knew he had done something special, but for him, it was just the beginning of the night. Moments later, when his turn came to bat, the entire stadium stood on its feet. Everyone knew what was coming, they could feel it. Ohtani stepped into the batter's box, the same calm expression on his face. The Brewers pitcher looked nervous, wiping sweat from his forehead. The first pitch came in low for a ball. The second pitch was a slider, a little too close to the zone. Ohtani didn't swing yet, but his timing was perfect. Then came the third pitch. It was a fastball right over the heart of the plate, and Ohtani didn't miss it. He swung with that smooth, effortless power that has become his trademark. The sound of contact was thunderous, echoing across the stadium. The ball rocketed off his bat, soaring deep into the night sky. Everyone knew instantly, it was gone. Way gone. The camera followed the ball as it flew over the outfield wall and into the second deck. The crowd exploded. Fans jumped, screamed, waved flags, and hugged each other in disbelief. Ohtani had just struck out 3 batters in the first inning, and now he had crushed a home run in his very first at-bat. It was pure dominance on both sides of the game. As he rounded the bases, Ohtani didn't show off. He simply smiled and gave a small nod toward his dugout. His teammates were losing their minds, cheering, shouting, throwing helmets in the air. Even the opposing dugout looked impressed. The Brewers players could only shake their heads, knowing they were witnessing something extraordinary. When Ohtani returned to the dugout, his teammates surrounded him. High fives, pats on the back, even a playful towel slap, they were all celebrating their superstar. Cameras zoomed in on his face, capturing that quiet confidence and joy. You could see the satisfaction in his eyes. He had done it again, reminding everyone why he's not just one of the best, but a once-in-a-century player. Commentators around the league couldn't stop talking about it. "This guy isn't real," one announcer said. "He's rewriting baseball every single night." Social media exploded with highlight clips, fans posting from every angle. "Ohtani just struck out the side and then hit a moonshot," one tweet read. "This is video game stuff." Back on the mound in the second inning, Ohtani didn't let the home run celebration slow him down. He came right back to work, throwing with the same intensity. His fastball command was pinpoint, and his splitter kept diving out of reach. Even when a batter managed to foul one off, the crowd would cheer for the sheer effort. They knew they were watching greatness. The Brewers tried to adjust, but nothing worked. Ohtani's rhythm was untouchable, every motion, every pitch perfectly synchronized. His mechanics looked effortless, but the velocity and precision were otherworldly. After another clean inning, he walked off the field to a standing ovation. The camera panned across the fans, many holding signs in Japanese, some in English: MVP Ohtani, Unicorn of Baseball, History in the Making. The connection between Ohtani and the fans was something beyond sports. It was emotional, cultural, almost spiritual. People from around the world were united in awe. Later in the game, reporters caught glimpses of young fans trying to imitate Ohtani's swing. Kids wearing his jersey mimicked his stance in the stands. Parents smiled, filming them on their phones. It wasn't just about baseball anymore, it was about inspiration. Ohtani had become a symbol of discipline, dedication, and limitless potential. As the game went on, he continued to dominate. Another strikeout here, a sharp grounder there. His poise never wavered. Even when the Brewers tried to rally, Ohtani shut them down with his calm precision. It wasn't just talent, it was mastery. When he stepped up for his next at-bat, the crowd again went wild. The Brewers pitcher looked rattled, clearly remembering that earlier home run. He tried to pitch around Ohtani, throwing low and away, but Ohtani didn't bite. The count went full, and the pressure built. Finally, the pitcher gave in and threw a strike, and Ohtani smoked it down the right field line for a double. The stadium erupted again. Each moment felt like a highlight reel in motion. The fans weren't just watching baseball, they were witnessing a performance, a story unfolding in real time. And Ohtani was both the hero and the author. In the dugout, his teammates could be seen laughing, almost in disbelief. Freddie Freeman shook his head with a grin. "How do you even do that?" he seemed to say. Mookie Betts patted Ohtani's shoulder, clearly in awe of his two-way brilliance. By the fifth inning, broadcasters had already started comparing his performance to legendary feats: Babe Ruth, Nolan Ryan, even Mike Trout's prime years. But what Ohtani was doing wasn't a comparison. It was unique. It was history being written by a player who seemed to defy the limits of human ability. The Brewers' manager looked on, helpless. There was no strategy that worked against him. Every pitch Ohtani threw was calculated, every swing perfectly balanced. It was like he was playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers. When Ohtani's night on the mound finally ended, the entire stadium stood up. It wasn't just Dodgers fans, even Brewers supporters applauded. They knew they had seen something rare. A two-way clinic. A masterclass in athletic perfection. After the game, Ohtani spoke briefly in an interview. His humility as striking as his performance. "I just wanted to help the team win," he said softly. It doesn't matter how, pitching, hitting, anything. That quiet modesty only made people love him more. Analysts later broke down his stats: 3 strikeouts in the first inning alone, no walks, and a towering home run. The numbers were impressive, but they couldn't capture the magic of the moment. This was bigger than statistics, it was art. Clips of the home run began trending worldwide within minutes. On Japanese television, fans stayed up past midnight to rewatch it. On American sports channels, it played on repeat. Broadcasters called it one of the most complete innings ever played in MLB history. Even rival players chimed in online, praising him. "Ohtani makes it look too easy," one tweet read. "He's what every kid dreams of becoming." The admiration crossed teams, leagues, and even languages. As the stadium lights dimmed and fans began to leave, there was still a lingering sense of wonder. People knew they'd witnessed something unforgettable. Shohei Ohtani hadn't just won a game, he'd given everyone a story to tell, a moment to remember. And somewhere deep in the dugout, while his teammates celebrated, Ohtani sat quietly, towel around his shoulders, eyes calm and focused. Tomorrow, he'd train again. Tomorrow, he'd prepare for the next challenge. Because for Shohei Ohtani, greatness isn't a moment, it's a way of life. That night at Dodger Stadium, the legend of Shohei Ohtani grew even larger. He had once again proven that he wasn't bound by ordinary rules. He could strike out the side, crush a home run, and make the impossible look routine. The fans left the ballpark buzzing, knowing they had witnessed the kind of performance people will talk about for decades. Ohtani didn't just dominate baseball that night, he reminded the world why he is the heartbeat of the sport.